Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I could say that I'm not in support of it going to the ALR, but I'm just going to send it to the ALR or the ALC because at this point, I think that it is the best sort of vehicle to make these decisions out in this area. So I'm in support of it going to the ALC, and that's a change for me. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and nothing personal. This is completely about the rules of the Agricultural Land Reserve, and as a published author on this topic and removing industrial uses out of rural areas, it is very concerning for me that, and this is why I pulled this item. It is very concerning for me that this industrial use, we are sending it on to the ALC for adjudication when we ourselves could adjudicate for it through business licenses. And I'm very much, I know this is a fact, that we could adjudicate this application ourselves.
Thank you. I'm going to support the application for these reasons. I'm not convinced that this is an appropriate use of the agricultural land, but we've already argued the case that the ALC will be the adjudicator of that. I have feelings about heavy equipment on agricultural land, but I also see the applicants come to here. They've asked for clemency for 2 years in a temporary use permit while that decision is made. And it may well be that the Agricultural Land Commission come back and say no, and then that's the end of it. It may be that they come back and say, yes, it's okay, and there's only 2 years left. There's only 2 years to allow them to continue to operate, and then a sense that maybe they have to move. So I heard my colleague ask how long could it be for. They've asked for clemency while they sort this out. They're employing people. They're operating a company that provides a service. The temporary use permit to me is a reasonable ask while they get this sorted out. To say otherwise, I believe, would impose a hardship. And it's a hardship that I weigh against the hardship on the agricultural land. And that's where I don't have that information to say it's a hardship that is so deleterious that they shouldn't get the temporary use permit. And on that case, I will rely on the Agricultural Land Commission to provide their advice. So that's where I navigate this. I share some discomfort, but at the same time, I see when we legislate on these things, that the temporary use permit allows the expertise of the Agricultural Land Commission to come in and provides a reasonable amount of clemency while that process unfolds. So I will be supporting the motion on the floor. Thank you. Councillor De Vries, then Chambers, then Harper.
Thank you. I very much agree with the mayor here in terms of still having the ALC adjudicate this, as they're very well positioned to do so. If I were to take bets, my thinking is probably that this would not be a non-farm use that the ALC would support. But I think that understanding that this has been operating this space since 2003, I actually think that this would help our bylaw enforcement by being able to say this is something that's been rejected by the ALC, or in any case, if perhaps there on the off chance is approval, there's this understanding that it's temporary, that yes, it's been in happening for almost 20 years now, and now you're getting a couple years of transition to get out of this space. And so I do think that that's a better practice and more in line with Saanich's approach of trying to bring people into compliance. And I think, for multiple applications to say that the ALC is the best adjudicator and then all of a sudden to flip it here, I don't think is appropriate. I think that we need to be consistent and have some kind of standard for these things, and exercise the faith that on the last item we expressed we had in the ALC. Thank you.
Councillor Chambers and then Councillor Harper.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I would like to reiterate to the public, this is a use that is not permitted in the ALR by the ALC. So they have already adjudicated that this kind of operation is not allowed within the ALC. Okay, so this has been happening since 2003 without a business license at this property. Okay, industrial rent costs a lot more than rural rent. So basically what we've done is we're allowing financial mismanagement of our lands to occur.
Point of order is being called. Could you just...
What's your point of order?
The chair has heard a point of order. The chair would like to receive the point of order onto the floor. Please present your point of order. Councillor De Vries.
Thank you. As outlined in our council procedure bylaw, we're to address our comments through the chair. Councillor Chambers was continually looking directly at me, locking eyes with me as I'm trying to just listen, and it's not appropriate. And I would appreciate it if she would not stare at me. Thank you.
Okay, so on that, Council, collectively, let's look to the front. That we're not to look at each other and stare at each other. This has been raised a couple of times. I understand that human nature and getting excited and being passionate is part of our makeup. But in governance, let's be more clear that we have a respectful and safe working place for everyone. Let's proceed now. Councillor Chambers, did you wish to continue with the floor?
Thank you. Yes, I do wish to continue. I've been interrupted, and so I'm going to shift my eyes away from the person from the agricultural land reserve and stare into space. So it's not allowed, and I won't look at anyone in the ALR in the eyes again, and I'll just talk to your boss. Thanks.
Councillor Taylor, could you bring your point of order to the floor?
Quite discomforted by the last statement from Councillor Chambers. It sounds quite threatening, and I think that that's inappropriate.
I know we have challenging issues at times, but let's control ourselves so everybody feels safe in the chamber.